Hi everyone, and welcome to the Monday message for Monday, March 22nd, 2021. This is Darren, and we're going to start out with some NorCal notes. In our NorCal notes today, we have one birthday to celebrate. So let's all wish a happy birthday to Mariah Clinton. Her birthday is on March 28th. And that is our only NorCal note for today. So Mariah, you get to have it all to yourself. Just a couple of notes here that I want to make. First off, our vaccine policy. So later this afternoon, Katira is going to send out to everybody on core staff email a copy of our vaccination policy. So a couple of things to remember. Our main objective here is to keep the workplace free of safety hazards, right? That's a foundational thing that employers need to do for their employees. And so the vaccination policy is a big part of that. Also, we're going to be asking for third-party proof of vaccination. And for anyone who has had a vaccination so far, there are documents and vaccination cards available so that you will be able to do that easily. Also, we will be making accommodations if needed for medical accommodations, personal beliefs, religious beliefs. Now, these aren't automatically granted. If an accommodation request is made, we will sit down and look at each case individually and make sure that the accommodation doesn't put an undue burden on NorCal as a place of business that has business to conduct. So that's a basic outline of what you'll see in the policy, and that will be coming out very soon today for you to take a look at. Now, related to the vaccine policy is the return to work policy. So we're looking at these as two separate things, but they are, of course, very much related. So to allay any fears or anxiety that people have about the return to work timeline, I want to make sure that you understand that we're not looking at specific days and weeks and times. What we're looking at is a phased-in approach, right? So this phased-in approach will make sure that we don't move too quickly or that we don't move without regards to safety, of course. So what we're looking at are different phases, and each one plays off the other. That's how this is going to work. So in phase one, we're looking at the essential staff and vendors who are here working in the building. So the essential staff has been here, of course, throughout the year of COVID, and the essential staff will be the first group that we want to make sure is completely vaccinated before we move on, right? So that's where we are right now. We're concentrating on making sure that the essential staff has their vaccines, and we're checking in with them to make sure that that's the case. Now, once the essential staff is completely vaccinated, then we can move on to the second step, which is our radio guild, right? So we have lots of radio hosts who do shows. Some of them have been doing shows from home, which is great, and they may continue to opt to do that even with a vaccine. Other radio hosts have not been able to come in, and we've had to put their shows on hiatus in the meantime. So the second step is to get all of the radio volunteers and the radio hosts vaccinated and ready to go with their shows on the air. Now, the third phase of this is the general staff. So the general staff of NorCal and making sure that we have everybody vaccinated to keep each other safe. So these go one after another. However long that takes to do each step, that's what it's going to take. And then the next step will follow after that. So we'll keep everybody up to date on where we are in the steps and the phases. Now, the fourth step, I've been looking at it as guests and visitors to the building, but I think it might be more appropriate to look at that as a full opening, right, to everybody, because guests and visitors mean the public. So we're going to have to make some determinations about when that would be the case, to let people come into the building who are not employees and we don't know their vaccination status. So there could be a time where we have guests coming into the building and they have to show proof of vaccination before we actually just open the doors like it used to be in the old days. So that is the phased-in plan. So we're looking at those four phases. We have essential employees, we have the radio guild, we have the general staff return to work, and then we have the public. So those are the four parts of that plan. And they will take however long they take, but we'll make sure to keep everybody updated about those steps. the next thing that I want to show you is the new logo for 104.9. So this is the logo for KRCB 104.9, and so we've gone through a lot of different iterations of this logo, and we've had, oh my gosh, just countless numbers of people looking at this to weigh in on it. And we finally come down to this logo with these colors, and so this is how we're going to promote 104.9. So when we are finally able to take possession of the station here in mid-April, you'll start to see this logo everywhere. And we're working on the marketing plan now. We're looking at a pretty extensive online digital marketing campaign, as well as more traditional marketing, press releases, materials, posters, stickers, and things like that. So we're going through all of those things one by one to make sure that we check all of those things off the list that we need to do to promote our new 104.9. So that is very exciting, and I'm thrilled to be able to share that with you. Finally today, I want to show you the next video that's come out in our My American Dreams series. So if you remember, My American Dreams looks at DACA recipients, and these are produced by Ryan Miller that we've been working with for the past 5 years, perhaps 6 years now, rolling these stories out one by one on the air, on television. Not only are they airing as interstitials within breaks, as fillers and spots, but we've also done a couple of specials with the DACA recipients, like the one we did last year, the special where folks could email in to get questions answered that they had about their DACA status. So this story is the latest in that series, and I'm going to leave you with this today. This story tells the story of Yavani as he struggles with his own status while also working hard as an activist to protect the status of others. So I hope you enjoy this latest video. Remember to stay safe, stay strong, work together, and I'll talk to you soon.
No papers, no fear! No papers, no fear! No papers.
I'm here with Yavani, who's been on the UndocuBus. What made you decide to get on a bus and come out as undocumented and get out on a bus and tour the country?
We want to build a stronger community so we can have our rights and our civil rights, and so we can, you know, maybe be able to get a driver's license so I can go to college so my mom won't be deported.
My name is Giovanni Diaz. 28 years old. My favorite color is blue. I am another human being like you. Migrating to the United States was when I was 8 years old. I crossed the Rio Grande with my older brother and an aunt, followed with 2 coyotes who guided us. And it was really to unify with our mother, who was there working, supporting her 3 children. As I was crossing the border and just the street lights and the car lights, it was all just very, they were like stars compared to growing up on the ranch and seeing all them up above, almost like the Milky Way.
Look at the stars, look how they shine for you.
It was just unreal. I remember seeing my mother and I was really happy to be with her.
I swam across, I jumped across.
I was there 16 years. I went through the education system, elementary, middle, high school, and some college. I say some college because I went to Freedom University, and I had to go there because it's still an underground school for undocumented youth.
And to a story now that comes to us from Georgia, where every Sunday a group of 35 students meets at an undisclosed location to study.
They call it Freedom University, named after the school set up during the Civil Rights era to teach African Americans in the Deep South. The school came about after Georgia legislators passed a bill to ban undocumented students from attending the top 5 universities in the state. The law also requires these students to pay out-of-state tuition at other public colleges. Students began protesting on campuses and at the state capitol.
So put me down, criticize me with your lies and with your parody.
I even got arrested at a board regents meeting. So it's hard, and I try to fight for my educational rights as a human.
In the darkness I don't hide, cause I got pride that gives me clarity.
I still wake up in the morning with the vision of a better life. See the option of defeat's just not written in my story.
What happened, I lost my credential DACA card, so I was unemployed and I had no money to renew it or to continue living there, so I was like, I'm going back.
I can make it through this. You can throw the world.
I came back because I wanted to continue study, and I now will graduate from Dayton University on Sunday. That's a life achievement goal for me, and I mean, it's just, I think, really great.
Every time they build a wall around me, I will tear it down and say I'ma live my dream.
Now that I graduate on Sunday, I think I'd like to be a teacher because one of my first mentors, she taught me the basics of English and the importance of communication and getting to know people, and so that was like, wow, I never really thought I wanted to be like her, but I guess I do.
Gonna do it my way. I can make it